Logan Paul defeated Rey Mysterio at Crown Jewel 2023 to become the United States champion. And I am ecstatic with the decision. I think that this is going to do a lot for Logan Paul, but also a lot for the United States Championship belt, which had been feeling a little bit stagnant for about a year and a half. The previous champion, Rey Mysterio, really didn't do anything for the championship belt. The belt didn't really do anything for Rey Mysterio, so it's a breath of fresh air to get this belt onto Logan Paul. And Logan Paul is going to be great for the championship belt in terms of getting eyeballs on it outside of the wrestling ring, on his podcast and whatever appearances that he does. If he goes to a boxing press conference, whatever it might be, we're going to be seeing that United States Championship belt all over the place. And ultimately, I think that that's good for the WWE. I think that's good for Logan Paul. And I think it's going to be great for all of his opponents moving forward as well. So today we're going to be looking at 5 opponents that I would like to see challenge Logan Paul for that very United States Championship belt. And hey, as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring that bell for notifications if you're a wrestling fan. I'm confident that you're going to fall in love with this channel because we upload daily wrestling content. Before we jump into the 5 that I selected, I got to mention 2 individuals that I would love to see him have matches with, but ultimately I just don't see it ever happening. The first one is John Cena. Many of you already know that John Cena is my favorite WWE superstar of all time, and I really believe that in the ring and on the mic, Logan Paul and John Cena could create magic. But let's face it, John Cena is finally catapulting himself to be a Hollywood A-lister and maybe associating himself with Logan Paul, who has so much drama, has had so much backlash for some of the things that he's done outside of the WWE. I just don't think that John Cena's PR team would allow him to do a program with Logan Paul. And in that encounter, the only person that has anything to gain from this would be Logan Paul. So I just don't see any motivation from John Cena's side to want to do a program with Logan Paul in the long term. Again, I would have loved to see it, but I just don't see a world where John Cena agrees to work with Logan Paul. The other person that I would love to see him do a program with, but I just don't see it ever happening, is Bad Bunny. Because Bad Bunny and Logan Paul are like the 2 names that are uttered in the same sentence when you talk about celebrity involvement in the WWE. By many, they are considered far and away the greatest celebrity involvements that WWE has ever had. Many people see Bad Bunny as just someone that has no business being this good at professional wrestling due to his lack of like physical background and physical ability. Meanwhile, yeah, Logan Paul is an athlete, but he has no business being this good this quickly either. And I do think it's going to be a debate that's going to last for years to come. Who is the best celebrity involvement, Bad Bunny or Logan Paul? And it would have been nice to be able to have that fantasy matchup of Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny to help us determine who's the top celebrity performer in WWE. But similar to John Cena, Bad Bunny has absolutely nothing to gain from having a program with Logan Paul. Again, I just think that that baggage that Logan Paul has with the stuff with the Japanese force, the scams, and anything else that might disparage the reputation of Bad Bunny are all going to be reasons as to why Bad Bunny and his PR team are just going to deny doing anything with Logan Paul. Again, I could end up being wrong about John Cena and Logan Paul, but I really don't see a world where I'm incorrect on this. Ultimately, I just think that it comes down to the fact that both John Cena and Bad Bunny have just way too much to lose and too little to gain in doing a full program with Logan Paul. All right, now that we got those 2 out of the way, let's jump into the 5 that I think are very realistic that I would love to see in the WWE. Well, you knew that this was going to be my very first option, and that being LA Knight. Yeah. I was never a believer that LA Knight was going to win the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that he has fallen victim to the fact that he is the right guy in the right place at the wrong time. I think if it was anyone else aside from Roman Reigns, they would have probably pulled the trigger on having LA Knight be your world champion. He truly is the most popular, the most organically over WWE superstar that I've seen since Daniel Bryan's Yes movement. And I believe that they still have a lot of major plans for LA Knight. I just don't think that the world championship, at the very least, the world championship from Roman Reigns was the right call. And the WWE seemed to agree because they had him lose to Roman Reigns. So if a world title is not yet in the picture for LA Knight, then I think we need to do the next big thing, which is to put him in a major marquee feud, a major marquee match at WrestleMania. And I think that a major marquee feud for the United States Championship versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania is not only a fun, fantastic feud that we could potentially get, but also it is a major match that I think has the potential to even be the night one main event of WrestleMania. That sounds insane. I know what I just said, but I mean, we live in a world where the tag championships have main evented WrestleMania night one at this point. I could totally see the star power of Logan Paul versus the star power of LA Knight being a big enough draw to main event night one. And if it's not a main event, still, I think it's a major marquee match for WrestleMania, and I would think that it'd be the biggest United States Championship match of all time. We've seen these two go at it once before during their Money in the Bank feud, and the moment that they had in the ring cutting promos against one another was a moment of lightning in a bottle. Now imagine that small segment that only lasted a minute or two and now stretched that over a month and a half feud leading into WrestleMania. We could be talking about one of the most entertaining feuds of all time. We could be looking at some of the best promo segments in WWE history. I think their match would be very good as well, because Logan Paul has demonstrated that he is years above his current experience level. And I know a lot of people think that LA Knight's a very sloppy worker, but I think he's gotten much cleaner in the ring over the last couple of months. But ultimately, it wouldn't be about how good the match is. Ultimately, what people would really clamor for is how good the feud would be, with backstage segments, with interviews, with promo battles against one another. A contract signing would be a tremendous amount of fun. There's just so much here to work with. The next guy up would be Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul. And hey, let's not forget that these two still have some unfinished business from WrestleMania 37, when Kevin Owens stunnered Logan Paul into oblivion here. And it seems like the WWE is already planting the seeds for this feud, as this is a picture from the most recent episode of Friday Night SmackDown as of the making of this video. And the current modern age Kevin Owens, somebody like Logan Paul, is his perfect antagonist, somebody that could just make him blow a gasket because he just epitomizes everything that Kevin Owens thinks is wrong with the world. Kevin Owens would also be another notch in the belt of Logan Paul, as he would have another feud with another future WWE Hall of Famer in Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens isn't really doing too much on Friday Night SmackDown right now. He's kind of just middling, having a potential feud with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I think that if we push him to have a feud with Logan Paul, this would give Kevin Owens so much more purpose on the Friday Night SmackDown roster, and it would just make Logan Paul feel that much more special as well. Their match in the ring could be a lot of fun, but again, similar to LA Knight, where the money is their backstage segments, their contract signings, their promo battles. There again, just like LA Knight, there's just so much here to work with. And we've seen Kevin Owens be able to carry a less than stellar Stone Cold Steve Austin to a very memorable night one main event at WrestleMania. Imagine what he could do with a very capable, very athletic, and very hungry 28-year-old Logan Paul. They could literally put together a best match of the year. I don't think that's a wide exaggeration either. In terms of mouth-watering engagements in the ring, I have to look no further than AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. AJ Styles, even though he's still not the best version of himself right now, is still capable of carrying a cinder block to a 5-star match. But he wouldn't need to carry Logan Paul. Logan Paul can very much carry himself, as we have seen throughout his short WWE tenure. So a match between one of the most technically gifted professional wrestlers of all time in AJ Styles taking on one of the most promising young upstarts in the company's history in Logan Paul, it's just money there waiting to be made. It is a 5-star classic in the making. The only place where this might be not as sellable of a match as like an LA Knight match or a Kevin Owens match is perhaps their promo battles and their backstage segments might not be anywhere as entertaining as something like Kevin Owens or LA Knight would be able to provide. But where the money is just the fact that this would be a fantastic match, and it would easily be Logan Paul's best match of his entire WWE career. And I think that somebody like AJ Styles, somebody that's done it all in the WWE, somebody that's done it all across all of professional wrestling, would probably relish the opportunity. at working with somebody that's brand new to him, a brand new challenge, trying to carry a non-wrestling legend to a wrestling legend status type of match. So I'm down for this because this would be something brand new and fresh for AJ Styles. And like I said, he's done it all at this point. So why not have Logan Paul and AJ Styles just absolutely cook? Bro, just the segments alone between Grayson Waller and Logan Paul would be absolutely phenomenal. And we've already seen Grayson Waller be able to hang with the likes of John Cena, the likes of Edge, and other major WWE legends, whether it's in the ring or in terms of promo battles. So he'd be right at home with somebody that's just as mouthy as him in Logan Paul. I kind of debated whether or not to have Austin Theory in this list over Grayson Waller, but ultimately I really feel like Grayson Waller has just evolved so much more than Austin Theory has over the last year. In fact, I believe that Grayson Waller is what WWE wanted Austin Theory to become. We'd be looking at two young WWE superstars that could absolutely torch the building, but just the amount of fun that these guys could have on the microphone alone sells tickets for me. Now, I don't think that this could necessarily be a WrestleMania match, but if Logan Paul were to have multiple feuds throughout this United States Championship reign, I think that there is a place, a time, and a match for somebody like Grayson Waller to be able to take a crack at Logan Paul. And hey, since Logan Paul just beat a luchador to win the WWE United States Championship, I'd love to see him defend it against the man that's being heralded as the guy to take the mantle for Rey Mysterio once Rey Mysterio retires in Dragon Lee. Dude, this match would be absolutely amazing. We've already seen Dragon Lee just have banger after banger after banger, whether it's on the main roster or on NXT. And I think that his style would just work so beautifully with with Logan Paul. Like, Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio was a decent match, but Rey Mysterio just has lost too many steps to be able to have the type of match that we would expect from like a 30-something-year-old Rey Mysterio to have against Logan Paul. Now, we could just recreate prime Rey Mysterio in Dragon Lee and have him have a match with Logan Paul, and it would absolutely melt our faces. The only problem with this feud would be is that it would be entirely about the actual in-ring work, because I don't think that Dragon Lee could in any way, shape, or form keep up with Logan Paul in terms of microphone work. In fact, I think that Logan Paul would just absolutely obliterate poor Dragon Lee in this situation. But again, this one doesn't need to be a major feud at a major PLE. Perhaps this could be a title defense at just a random Friday night SmackDown if Logan Paul is willing to make appearances at those and have championship defenses. Because something does tell me that we're going to be seeing a lot more of Logan Paul. I don't think that he's going to be an absent champion a la Roman Reigns. I think that we're going to be seeing him having matches on SmackDown and on PLEs as well. But yeah, I'm just drooling at the thought of Logan Paul versus Dragon Lee. That match would be absolutely stellar. But hey, that's it. That's where I'm going to leave it. Who would you like to see Logan Paul have a match or a feud with for the United States Championship? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've got nothing to say, just toss an emoji in there. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. I'd really appreciate that. Okay, I'm done. Get out of here and go Chargers.